Hello everyone! Welcome to the world of English feature writing for its part 5. So last video, I read a sample of a feature article. Now, another sample or another example of feature article. Imelda's Hometown Revisited by Kathleen Calo. Olot, Leyte. Eduardo Pondovela used to carry golf clubs for movie stars at Imelda Marcos' elegant seaside resort in Leyte Island. Cows graze on the 18-hole golf green. Weeds hang from air vents above the pelota court. Looters have stripped the dozen odd houses and guest cottages. There were so many plants and flowers before. It was very well tended. Pondovela said in an interview, walking past a dilapidated thatched cottage hidden by tumbleweeds. A life-size wooden statue of a saint stands on the front porch, half eaten by termites. Biographers say Imelda spent millions of dollars on the Olot estate, one of several family vacation hideaways. Imelda and her husband, the late President Ferdinand Marcos, were charged with looting $103 million from the Philippine Treasury, using the money to secretly buy 4 Manhattan office buildings and defrauding U.S. banks of $165 million or $165 million. In December 1975, Cosmopolitan magazine described Imelda, a former beauty queen, as one of the world's 10 richest women, alongside Queen Elizabeth of England, Christina Onassis, and Queen Juliana of the Netherlands. A childhood friend in the nearby provincial capital of Tacloban, 575 kilometers southeast of Manila, said the former First Lady loved entertaining foreigners of Olot, where she would sing for them and feed them our native food. She has very charismatic personality. She was very accommodating, over-hospitable, said Severina Cam, a 60-year-old university teacher in an interview. American World War II veterans who fought against the Japanese forces in the Philippines and revisited their wartime landing spot last month said Imelda prepared a private party for them in Olot in 1984. She was very gracious, hostess. One said she sang Sentimental Journey for us. Now, all is quiet except for the birds and sea breeze running through the 23 empty rooms of the one-story wood and gray brick rest house where the Marcoses used to stay. Sinks and marble countertops have been ripped from the kitchen. Wallpaper, air conditioners, and glass window slats have been taken from the bedrooms and mirrors are gone from the bathrooms. A blackened coconut shell and older rubber sandal float in green murky water in Olympic-sized swimming pool above the beach. After Marcos was driven from power in February 1986 by a military civilian revolt and fled to exile in Hawaii, President Corazon Aquino's new government sequestered assets all over the country belonging to the Marcoses. including the Olot State or the Olot Estate. Soldiers guarded it while the new Presidential Commission on Good Government, or the PCGG, was assigned to determine whether the estate had been paid with illegally obtained money. Officials and local residents say villagers, the military guards, and PCGG agents picked the place clean. It was really looted by the military, by the PCGG, by the civilians, said Olradico Mate, mayor of Tacloban, in an interview. A 20-room guest house for Marcos military aides was completely destroyed by weathers and looters. Apollonia Pilapil, a woman from the adjacent fishing village of Bislig, said a typhoon ripped off the roof, then looters took over. People took the flooring, the walls, and other things, she said, sitting on the beach. A few hundred meters away stood the only remaining traces of the building, a vine-covered concrete foundation and bare frames of tan white and yellow tiled bathroom. In the next town of Tolosa stands the small cemetery of Imelda Romualdez family. Her father, mother, and three other family members are buried in Marble Town. In the center of a walled-in plot, four concrete cherubs surround a plain marble plaque on the ground consecrated to a 1972 miscarriage. It reads, "To our unborn child, with whom so many dreams died, Ferdinand and Imelda, June 3, 1972. Reuter." So, this article or this feature article is an example of personal experience feature. So, this personal experience feature was written by a 17-year-old Filipina, Dalia Valeroso, who graduated valedictorian from the Ulysses Grant High School in Los Angeles, California in the summer of 1991. The essay, which tells of her nostalgic moments as a child in the Philippines, having grown up with her grandmother, won for a $1,000 prize and the chance to enroll under a partial scholarship of the prestigious Stanford University in California. So, the importance of a college education by Dalia Valerosa. It is unusual for Southern California to experience an outpouring of rain. Hearing the raindrops pelting my roof is magical in itself, yet is made more special by an outpouring of memories. On rainy days like this one, I sat on my grandmother's lap as a child. With hot cocoa in hand, I listened attentively to the stories she told. With humble pride in her eyes, she used to recall the struggles she and her children had weathered. My grandfather died early in life, leaving her with the burden of raising a family of six. It is evident that even today this would have been a trying situation to anyone. How my grandmother managed to financially support six children with barely an elementary education is still a mystery to me. Even more impressive was her perseverance in furthering her children's education. In a small town where most people were content with an elementary education, her dog her dogged pursuit of college diplomas for all of her children was scorned and laughed at by her neighbors. They incessantly asked why would anyone go to the trouble of sending her kids to school when she barely has the money for food. She's just showing off by trying to do what is what of her rich. My grandmother remained undaunted by these cruel and scornful remarks. She sweated and toiled immensely every year in order to assure sufficient funds for her children's education. Luckily enough, she received full cooperation from all her children, who possessed the same unusual dedication and desire for further education that she had. They did their part by walking several miles to and from school. Rain did not hinder them. They trudged on with nothing but banana leaves to scantily give them shelter. Nevertheless, all the six children refused to allow any barriers in the pursuit of their goals. My grandmother now has three teachers, one journalist who is also a published author, one accountant, and an engineer for her offsprings. I regret missing the chance to witness the silent pride in her misty eyes as each one of her children walk across the stage to receive his or her hard-earned and well-deserved diploma. Yet, I can see her expression vividly. Is it because of my mother's clear description when she recounted the family struggles? No, I must have seen that look in my grandmother's eyes myself. It was last week when I told I was graduating as class valedictorian. Her response was simply to take me in her arms and whisper, "Keep up the tradition of academic excellence." My grandmother is now 72 years old. It almost made me cry when she pointed out that she might not see me receive my own college diploma. Still, I am heartened by the fact that I will bring joy to her come June 19, 1991, my high school graduation day. Even if she does not live long enough to share my next triumph, I will hold dear in my heart her request and will keep up the tradition of academic excellence in my family. So I will continue reading this in my next video. Goodbye for today. Thank you.